All right. Welcome to 1 Million Cups, everyone. Thank you for coming. I'll be your MC today. My name's Jacob Hacker. I'm the founder of Trail Fit Fitness. I'm a personal trainer. I'm also an obstacle coach racer. I've coached everything from baseball, football, to lacrosse, hockey, basketball, volleyball. So I do love all sports. If you ever want to talk shop about sports, especially Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. That's what I was expecting. Just love sports. Let's see, on the docket today, we only have like one person speaking, but that being said, we want to thank our coffee roast sponsor, Sleepy Turtle. I don't think Christy is here today, but yeah, give her a round of applause. She might be watching online. And then we would also like to thank our coffee sponsor, and this is Colorado Enterprise Fund. Is anybody from Colorado Enterprise Fund here? Well, nonetheless, give them a round of applause because we all love coffee. And then our coffee cup sponsor is actually the SBDC and BBB. Is anybody here to represent them officially? Not Heather. Well, if you want to say a few things? Okay, come on up. Yeah.
Morning. So I can actually say a little bit about both. So my name is Heather McBroom. I'm an SBDC consultant. What I love about the SBDC is they have something for every entrepreneur. So I always recommend that everybody get signed up. It is free to get signed up. They have free one-to-one consulting. There is 60 plus of us experts that you can meet with. So if you have questions on insurance, you need an attorney, you need questions on your books, you need anything really, they have an expert for that. Want to talk to somebody about funding, and it's absolutely free. They also have a number of on-demand classes that are free online, and they teach several classes in-house, but they're usually very low cost. So great resource for any small business owner. As well as if you want to meet with me, you can catch me through the SBDC. I also am familiar and work a lot with the BBB. So the BBB is also a phenomenal resource for businesses. They have something called the Customer Service Excellence in Customer Service Award. And so we work with companies to help them level up their playing in customer service, and then they get recognized at the end of the year. They also do different networking events, as well as when you're a member, you have a whole directory of members that you can talk to, solicit, get support from. They build a pretty tight-knit community over there as well. So both are phenomenal resources.
Thank you, Heather. And she used to be a consultant, so yes, ask her about her services. It's amazing. Yes. And then going to our speaker today, he is a graduate of Thrive Network, which is, we have had some speakers from there. His name is James Roets, and he has started Kilarado's Finest. So give him a round of applause.
Can everybody hear me all right? Morning, guys. My name is James Roets from Kilarado's Finest. Everybody knows me as Jasper. Just a little background on my entrepreneurial journey. It kind of started when I was very young. A little history on why the business became what it is. I grew up in a single-family home where my mom struggled to take care of me. It was just her. My dad was in and out of prison my entire life. A lot of my uncles, cousins, same kind of thing. At an early age, I started getting involved in the same kind of activity, selling drugs, running with gang members. By my early teens, I began getting myself in the system. My dad got out of prison once when I was like 14, was out for maybe 6 months, went back. He then broke out of Trinidad Correctional Facility and knocked on my window one night and was like, "Hey, I love you. I won't see you again for a long time." Jumped the fence, and that was the last time I seen him for 6 years. He then got out when I was like 21, and I started hanging out with him, his buddies. You know, we started doing what we do and got into a lot of trouble. I ended up getting deeper and deeper into the street life, pushed most of my family that was doing good away due to my actions. You know, they kind of gave me a choice: either do right and you can be around us, or keep doing what you're doing and you're not going to be a part of our life. So obviously I was young and dumb, and I was like, hey, I'm keep doing what I'm doing. In 2009, me and my dad he got into a series of trouble, went on the run, and he broke it down to me and was like, look, you're looking at some prison time, I'm looking at prison time. You can either go on the run with me or you'll never see me in your life again. What do you want to do? So that day I chose to go on the run with my father. We ended up getting in a car accident, got in a rollover accident out in Black Forest, and he actually died in my arms that night. I got hit with some probation, kind of tried to get my life together, was kind of struggling with it, went back to selling drugs. 2014, I actually got hit on a dope case, and I got 12 years in prison. I went to prison, and this was when my life finally started to change for the better. Prison was a great thing for me. Not much changed from being out on the streets. You know, I was still around the same people. I actually kind of enjoyed it. I hate saying that as much as I hate saying that, but it was comfortable. It was something I'd been seeing my whole entire life. By my early 20s, prison was early retirement in my eyes. That's what you did in the Roets family. You grew up, you went to prison, you became a man, you got out, and you see how long you could make it. It was about 2 years in. I was sitting in my cell one time. We got locked down, and I called my mother, and she answered the phone. And I was supposed to call her like a week before that, and I didn't. So when I called her, she started crying, you know. And I was like, "What's up? Why are you tripping?" And she's like, "I thought something happened. I thought you were dead. I thought, you know, all these different things." And that moment, it was when everything changed. I realized we're not the ones in here hurting. It's our families that are watching us struggle and go through this addictions, in and out of jail, in and out of prison. And our families are out here struggling to pay bills. They can't barely make it. And that was the moment I was like, I got to do something different. I started getting into every class I could, tried to better myself in any way I could. I figured if you're going to be sitting down doing time, you might as well be making the best of it and take advantage of this time. I ended up getting out of prison on good behavior, paroled to Pueblo to my family's house, and it was a struggle when I got out. I didn't relate to nobody. I didn't feel comfortable. It was, you know, I was fortunate enough. I did find a job right away, but it was everywhere I went, they would tell you, "Man, you got the best work ethic I've ever seen." And I'd always tell them, "Man, my paycheck doesn't match that." And then I started watching all my buddies get out, and they would turn around and go back in. You know, they couldn't find work. It was the same struggles. So like I said, my entrepreneurial journey, it started in my early teens when I was in the streets selling drugs and doing stuff like that. I was running a business. It was just the wrong kind of business. So I'd always talked about starting a business with my father. But you know how life gets. Oh, well, we don't have money. We got this, we got that. We made every excuse in the world why not to, but we never found an excuse why to. And like I said, whenever I was in there, I told myself, I was like, man, when you get out, make yourself extremely uncomfortable, because if you're comfortable, it's probably not right. And so I did that, and I actually ended up starting my own business, but it was a rocky road. Like I said, it's one thing being, if you're a business owner, you know how it can get lonely. You know how hard it is. You don't have nobody you can relate to or you can talk to. You're constantly working. You don't see your family. Well, now become an ex-con where nothing you do fits in with what society has done, and you're trying to rebuild your entire way of living. Then I got into the Thrive program, and that was just here recently, and it was probably one of the best things that could have happened to me. I met a bunch of great people. Actually taught me how to run my business, because before I was just making money and spending it. But now I've actually learned what it takes to be an entrepreneur, how to run the business, what you need to do, the ins and outs, and that's just a little background on how my business came about.
Thank you, James. Very powerful. We'll start the questions. First one.
First, I apologize for walking in a little bit late.
No, you're fine. You're
the
fine. Thank you.
interstate was a little bit bad. What type of business do you do? This is your background is one that is fascinating.
Yeah, I've kind of shifted it. I started off, when I first started the business, I was doing lawn care and maintenance, just because it was the easiest, cheapest thing I could get into. You know, you need a mower, a trimmer, and this and that. And as I started getting more clientele, I started developing closer relationships with my customers, and I was a go-to for the customer. I would come in, mow their yard. I'd picked up lots of skills along the way. So I do remodeling, renovations, removals, landscaping, yard maintenance. My focus with the business is I'm trying to work with dudes coming out of prison to offer that support system and also give them the opportunities to develop a career and have that place where they can actually make decent money.
And how do you plan to go about, you said that you plan to hire other people who have came out of prison, and how do you plan to go about that, and what do you think that impact will do for the community?
That's kind of been the real struggle with it. Is they always say it's hard to teach an old dog new tricks, and it's my business is just one piece of that puzzle. So I started off by hiring people I knew that were coming out, or people that were referred to me from people I know. Like I said, most of the people in my family are my friends. All of my friends are locked up. Besides Thrive, I don't have friends that are on the streets, but I talk to them regularly, and so I get referred. Hey, so and so is getting out. They've been working on themselves. They're working hard. They're honest. Give them a shot. I vouch for them. To me, that means more than what most people can ever say out here. If somebody gives me their word in there, you have to stand on that. Like it carries. That's a life and death thing to say, hey, I vouch for somebody. So that's how I started hiring people. It's just like I said, it's difficult because it's just one piece of the puzzle. You can give everybody a job, but if they don't have the support, they don't have, the want to continue to do that. It's hard, and I see a lot of them fail and go back, and that's the part that I'm trying to figure out as I'm doing this.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing. I just want to give feedback. I thought you did an amazing job, probably one of the best I've seen in a while, because at the end of your story, I had no idea what you do, but I know why you do it. And that's what we really like to see here at 1 Million Cups. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that
You're
journey
welcome.
with
Thank
us.
you.
And my question is, so I know there's going to be more challenges that come your way in starting a business, but what's been sort of the biggest challenge or the biggest thing you've overcame in the last year as you've tried to get this business going?
I would say probably just honestly scheduling. Like I said, my first year in business, it was kind of slow, but I showed everybody what my work ethic looks like and the quality of work that, that was, when I was locked up, I seen so many dudes that it was like, why are you in prison? You have phenomenal skills. And it was, when I started displaying these skills to customers, it took off. And now I've got so much work that it's hard to be the office person, the bidder, the worker, the interviewer, the firer, and I hold a very high standard. Like if you show up late for work, don't even come the next day. Like I ain't got time for it. I'm building a reputation with customers where I have to remain 100% transparent. And if I say I'm going to deliver something, I deliver it. And if you can't, then I have no time for you. You're either with me or you're not. And that's kind of where I'm at with everything. And it's been a real struggle because I have family members that get out or friends, and I want to help them. I want to be that person to help them, but I can't help anybody that doesn't want to help themselves. And so I'm having to really learn to say no to things, and I have a hard time saying no.
Fantastic job. I applaud you for wanting to help that particular community. I think it's very needed. For people who may have hesitations about having that population come into their homes, what are some of the things that you can tell them to help make them feel safe and protected?
Glad you asked that. So actually, part of coming out of prison, we are all federally bonded by the Federal Bonding Insurance Program, where you're 100% covered. On top of that, I carry superior insurance coverage through Precision Services through Heather. So I make sure that the customer doesn't have to worry about that. They're covered through the government as well as through my personal insurance so that they can really just focus on the work at hand. And in just another aspect of it, I know like contractors have gotten a horrible name over the last few years. I've actually just started a ladies project in Southgate where somebody came in, did a bunch of crap work. She paid $9,000 and now I have to go in and fix it. So a guarantee I do with all of my customers is I don't do any down payments. I don't require any kind of any money until you're happy with the job at hand. Just because people have given somebody so much bad name, and I'm coming from a population where it's like, oh, they're trying to steal my money or something like that. So I come in, I say, hey, look, this is what we're doing. I give them itemized receipts on everything, show them exactly where everything's going. A lot of times I'll bring customers in and show them what I'm doing and be like, hey, man, look, if in the future, if you'd like to do this, let me show you how to do this, and kind of teach them and educate them on what I'm doing. Just that way it makes them feel more comfortable that I know what I'm talking about and I know what I'm doing.
Thank you for sharing your story again.
Absolutely.
So I would like to know what was the narrative and relationship you had with challenges and obstacles before, and what is the relationship you have with challenges and obstacles now?
I think before my challenges and obstacles was I didn't feel like I had anybody or any help, and I didn't have the network or the community help that I needed because, to be completely honest, I put it on myself. You know, I made myself feel like a pariah, and I separated myself from everybody. Well, part of the Thrive Network, they put you through this class and they force you to talk to people and they make you come to places like this and it's very uncomfortable, but you start to develop these relationships with people. You start to get out of your shell and you start talking with people and you realize, you know what, who I was is not who I am today. And if I can learn to leave that in the past and quit putting those barriers on myself, so will others.
James over here. What did you say you go by instead of James?
Jasper.
Jasper.
It was just a nickname I got when I was a kid. There's a million Jameses in the world. So it was one of those things. I got the nickname when I was like 12, 13 years old, and it kind of stuck, you know, and it was just anything that was tied to that name, people knew it was legit. There was, you know what I mean? Even in the streets, I always had a good name. I know I wasn't doing the best things out there, but it was still, you know, I wasn't doing people dirty. I wasn't doing stuff like that. So it just kind of got tied to it. And I figured, you know, I changed my life around. I'm not going to hide parts of my past because it'll always come out. And I feel like if you just put it out there on the table and let everybody know, hey, look, this is what it is. You either like it or you don't. And that's what it is.
Well, that's my first invite. Jasper fits.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay, Jasper fits.
I appreciate it.
I feel that.
I appreciate it.
So when I work with entrepreneurs, it's all about failure. Fail forward, fail fast, fail often, and learn from failure.
Oh, phew. I'm a professional at failure. No, just kidding.
Okay. So what has been your greatest failure in which you've learned from and pivoted?
So, I think my biggest failure was I feel like I let my family down. I had a counselor one time. She told me, "What are you talking about? Your biggest failure is prison." And I was like, "No, in my eyes, this was an accomplishment. You know, you got to look at my background, where I came from. That was a part of my life. That was a growing experience. That's what we do. So to me, prison wasn't a failure, and it was very much a success. I learned a lot. I became a better person. So to me, it was the letting of my family down. My little sister is 21 now, and she grew up most of her life without me. You know, I realize now how much of an impact that kind of stuff has on mothers, fathers, siblings, you know what I mean? So that's my biggest failure, I believe.
Hey, Jasper, good to
Yes,
have
sir.
you here today.
Thank you.
So, Tony Robbins says that that success is, I think he says 80% mindset. So what's going on in the mind is 80% of what allows success. And I have an interesting perspective to share, which is I had the opposite problem that maybe you have. But I came out of graduate school as a landscape architect thinking everybody would fall all over me because of what I had done in the past. And to my disappointment, nobody ever asked. They didn't even know, the difference between landscapers and landscape architects and all this. So I'm a little curious of whether you may have that, but again, on the opposite side. And a couple of things that make me think that is a little bit of what I just, I kind of walked in late, but I heard you talk about how, you think that clients think that they're going to be ripped off and all this. I never had that thought ever in my awareness. And I also know, because I coach and teach around this topic of how do we sell, how do we market, that there's certain things that cause people to trust. And if those things aren't there, it doesn't matter what your background is, what your past history is, they're not going to trust you. And it also doesn't have much to do with asking money up front. And that's, I guess my question I'm going to ask you just a little bit is does it seem challenging? I don't know, I didn't hear how far you're into your business, but it would seem very challenging to me to not get deposits. Like there's a way that professional contractors structure their deposit getting and their contract agreements and things like this for a very particular reason because of cash flow. Does that create any challenges for you?
Oh, absolutely. I've always loved a good struggle and a good challenge. But no, what I've grown to do with a lot of customers is rather than doing down payments, I go through and I build a complete shopping list of everything we're going to need for the job. I then send it to the customer and say, hey, look, here's the Home Depot order or whatever. This is everything we will need. If you will purchase it, we can have it delivered. I can pick it up and bring it to the house. But no labor is paid for until the job is done. It just, part of it too is I don't want to receive money for something I haven't done. So the only time I will have money down is if for materials. But like I said, usually what I do is I provide an itemized receipt showing exactly where all the money is going. I don't mark anything up. I don't do any of that kind of thing. But most of the time I usually try to tell the customer, hey, look, if I'll sit down with you, we'll figure out exactly what it is you want, how you want it to look. You order the materials, have them delivered. The day they get here, I'll come start work. And that's just kind of how I've found my way around that deposit thing, because that's usually what the deposit is for, is materials. And so like I said, I kind of do all the work myself. And then if I have to hire help, I usually make sure I have money in reserves. And so, yeah, it's been a challenge. Don't get me wrong. It's not a walk in the park by any means. This is my third year in business, and it's kind of, man, there's days I get up and I'm like, why do I even do this? Like, this is not fun. This is not what I thought it was going to be. But then I keep reminding myself of where I'm trying to take it and what I'm trying to do.
Right here, Jasper.
Yes.
Thank you so much for your story. It was super powerful. It really resonated with me and kind of a population that I work with as well. Having transferable skills that you don't even know, you can't even recognize and go out into the world with. Sometimes that is like such a struggle. What I want to ask is, what does it look like to work with you? I'm a homeowner. If I had a project, what sort of project would I hire you and your company for?
Like I said, I do a wide range of things. Close your ears, Heather. You didn't hear this. But in the past, I've been known, I'd come out and take a look at, something simple as, I've got some paved stones that are crooked in my yard. And I'd be doing that, and I'd overhear them talking about, well, man, I've been wanting to do my bathroom. And so I'd be like, well, hey, come here, let me show you the tile work I do. Let me show you my remodeling skills. Let me show you my framing skills. So I've gone in. I have a couple real estate agents, actually, I do work for, where they call me for everything. And I built a reputation with them and a good rapport with them that now it makes their job easier, because I have to meet them out there. I have to look at it. I have to go check their work. No, it's, hey, when are you available? I need you to go over here and paint this condo. Done. And then I call them, send them pictures, and I'm like, hey, it's finished. So it takes all the middle work out of it and makes their life easier. I have another customer that I've done his yard, his bathroom. I've worked on his car. I mean, I'm serious. Like, I've just taken skills I've learned. Like, I started working on cars when I could walk, working with my grandfather and stuff. Like, that's why I say there was never once did my family ever push me away. It was decisions I made, and it took a lot of years for me to realize this, but it's decisions we make that we have to learn to live with our consequences that we chose. But it just kind of, like I said, it's just skills I picked up from years and years, and if I didn't know something, man, I'm trying to learn. There's nothing better than education. If you can learn something, then you got one up on the next man.
So I have two questions. First, to finish kind of how you answered Robert's question, that was your biggest failure, but it sounds like now you have a relationship with your family and those things are on the up.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So the full circle's there. That's good.
Yep.
And then I'm glad Heather asked what she asked. And then when Gio asked some of the things he asked, I guess I want to comment before I ask my question is that I myself were almost done remodeling different parts of our house, and it was a disaster. We did hire these people that call themselves professionals that were referred by other professionals, and they did terrible work. I could have done a better job, and I'm not a contractor, but I knew that they were doing it wrong. And so there are some people that we regretted paying up front for everything. And then the next time we said, we're not paying you up front. We'll pay you half, and when you're done, we'll pay you the other half. And we never had to pay the other half because they never finished.
Oh, wow.
So there are crooks out there that have never gone to prison.
Yeah.
I was lucky enough to be your organizer, so I got to know a little bit, and you shared with me some of the referrals that you get. So it sounds like a majority of your work is done by referrals. Do you want to share a couple of things that people have said to you that continue to get you to the next project?
So actually, my business is strictly 100% referrals and repeat customers. I work with Domino's Pizza, taking care of all their stores from Canyon City to Monument. Bassett Heating and Air Conditioning, I take care of all their repairs. Real estate agent Sally Ann Holmes, Lisa Yin. I have a couple of property managers that I do work for. And then there's several other customers that it's just, like I said, I just went out 2 days ago and looked at the one gentleman's house. I just did a full bathroom remodel on his house. And so he had me come back out. I'm building a porch for him. Then he's already talking about he wants me to rebuild his deck, do the fence, build a patio. It just, you know what I mean? I really strove to do, let me put it this way. My family always told me, if you got time to do a job twice, you got time to do it right once. And I've kind of always lived by that, you know what I mean? If half the time, if I'm in a job, I'm more picky about the job than the customer is. I'll be like, nah, I don't like how this turned out. I'd like to come back and redo something. And they're like, what are you talking about? It looks fine. And I'm like, no, I know the texture doesn't look quite right. And they're like, nobody's ever going to see that. And I'm like, no, but I know it's like that. And every time I come over here to bid another job for you, I will see it and it'll drive me nuts. And so it's, you know what I mean? It's just little things like that. It's built my reputation. And that's part of my biggest struggle with hiring people is I need somebody that's going to look at things the same way I look at them, because the reputation I built is I want it right. You know what I mean? And if you're not going to do it the way I want it, then we're not going to fit together. So
I have a question for you, and just thank you so much for sharing your story, and thank you for being a small business owner in our community, because it's so important in Colorado Springs. And some other people have spoken to this too, but when I hear you talk about what you're doing, it sounds like a career change. And a lot of us have been through that, you know, from taking the skills that you have in a previous career, in a previous life, shifting it and doing something different. And the thing that I hear you say, you know, the way that you talk about your family, it keeps coming up. And when you say prison wasn't the worst for me, it was letting my family down. It sounds like that is your why, it's your North Star, and that hasn't changed for you. Even when you were talking about being young and how, you know, you were following in the footsteps of your family, it's your family, your family, your family. And I love that, because you have the same core, you know, from the beginning to the end. And I love hearing your story. So you are not the only person going through a career change. It is hard when anybody is doing it. So what can we do? I think I might know the answer to this question, but what can we do to support you?
Man, honestly, just keep an open mind. That's the biggest thing I can say is, you know, I'm tattooed. My mother's the one that used to point this out, and she was like, it used to make her mad when I go to the store with her, because I'm the most polite person there is until I'm not. I'll say it that way. But I hold doors for people. I say, excuse me, thank you, these things. And it used to drive her nuts, because we'd be walking through the store, and if I've got a short shirt on, I'm tattooed from my neck down. So we're walking through the store, and people will move their purse. They'll walk around. They give me dirty looks. And my mother used to get mad about this, and I'm like, I did it to myself. This is the look I was striving for. That's what I wanted. But now I'm like, just keep an open mind, because we're not all like what we look like. You know, it's decisions I made 20 years ago doesn't represent what I am today.
Thank you very much, James.
Thank you. Is that it?
We got a super special cup for you. And he is our only speaker today, so we're going to have some extra time to like get to know James a little more. You can speak with him. That'll be kind of, I saw a lot of hands up as well too. So even though we're out of time, we have extra time to ask more questions. Real quick. There you are, sir. Thank you very much. Yes. What's that? Yeah. All right. But yeah, real quick, we would like to bring up our media sponsor, Kevin Fedde with Fedde Studios, with all of this glamorous, glorious technology over here.
All right. Well, hello, everyone. Like you said, my name is Kevin Fedde. My business is Fedde Studios. I've had it for just over a year doing, video production, live events, photography, commercial photography, headshots, whatever, business stuff, and then drone work. So if you need help with any of that, I'm a huge nerd, and I like it a lot, so let me know.
Thank you. And we got it. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, just speaking of sponsors right at this point, I am the coffee sponsor organizer, and I feel like I've been doing a terrible job of it so far, but if anyone would like to sponsor, just get with me after, or I'll be around most weeks.
And then also we would like to welcome our first timers. Anybody's first time here, go ahead, raise your hands. Awesome. Oh, wow. Cool. So yeah, definitely talk to them after this. We would also like to see, let's see, where am I at? Oh, recognize organizers and alums. So organizers, go ahead, raise your hands real quick. If you would like to present and have not presented, these are the people you would like to talk to. And then alumni organizers, I see a few in the crowd today, yes. They're the ones who taught us what we know. Let's see. Oh, we'll open it up for community announcements. Real quick reminder, community announcements are 30 seconds long, but it's more about the what, the when, and the where, not so much of who you are. So go ahead and come on up, and we'll announce what's going on in the community.
Hello, my name is Jake Wayne. I'm one of the owners of 1350 Distilling, just on the east side of downtown here. We are working with Elevate Glass. Currently, we're raising funds for the victims of the Club Q shooting. We're doing a couple things. Elevate Glass has made some of their beautiful glasses, which are on display at our distillery, our taste room at 520 East Pikes Peak Avenue. They are raising funds by the selling of these glasses. Everything will go directly to those families. And as our part at 1350, we're accepting $20 donations, and with that, you get a free cocktail of your choice at our place as well too. We'll be doing that through the 12th of February, so come on in. We're open Wednesday through Sunday. Check us out at 1350distilling.com. Thank you.
Has 1350 presented before? Good answer. He said not yet. Love it. That's perfect. Oh, no, I forgot what I was going to announce. So part of being an entrepreneur is having some social time, some downtime. So I love my gal pals. So every year we have a Galentine's Day party, which Galentine's Day is always the day before Valentine's Day. So February 13th, brunch. And we're renting a space here at the Next Us, so you can see me about tickets for that. So come just celebrate your gal pal entrepreneurs, or bring your mom or your bestie. It is on a weekday this year, which is a little bit different, but still waffles and chocolate and meat and coffee and mimosas. That's the way to celebrate a Monday, right? Yeah.
I wanted to remind everybody that this Friday is First Friday Art Night. And if you don't know already, there's an amazing exhibit over at the Fine Arts Center. And the Fine Arts Center, of course, participates in First Friday night. So if you show up around 5:30, you'll find me there. They usually have music, drinks, and like I said, the show that's going on is amazing. And then we also have a First Friday night here at the Next Us, and I'll leave that up to Judy to tell you more about that.
Hello, everyone. If you are a veteran, a military spouse, if you like veterans, if you work with veterans, VetNet is a networking group that meets on Tuesdays at 8:30 in the morning. You can get online through Zoom or come on down. It's at 3103 West Colorado Avenue.
I have three things. So first is Nerd Night, February 18th. And we have one of our Nerd Night presenters in this room today. So Aaron will be talking about aging in Colorado Springs and how we can support that. We also will have Lisa Linter talking about why they let you fight in hockey. And I will be presenting on the history of jiu-jitsu and why the UFC exists at all. So there's that. We are going to be announcing, and this 1350, you guys want to keep your ears on this. We're going to be announcing on Super Bowl Sunday the location of the second annual Best of the West Wing Fest. So keep your eyeballs on that. And then today at 10:30, maybe 11-ish, because I know this ends at 10. If you would like to try jiu-jitsu at the basement down there, Judy, are we available for the basement if anybody wants to do it? All right, so if you would like to try today, 10:30 downstairs. If you haven't seen the dungeon here, you get to go try it out. So there we go. And I would like to just give you another shout out, because one of the things that we lead with in jiu-jitsu is rectitude. And rectitude means doing things right just because you should do things right. And that's what it sounds like you're doing. So great job. Thank you.
I'm not as tall. Applications open today for the Thrive Networks for our summer cohort. So if you know anybody who wants to join, if you want help leveling up in your business, or you know anybody who would be a good fit for the program, please have them go to thethrivenetworks.org and fill out an application.
All these things can be posted on our Facebook. So if you guys have these announcements, just send it into the PM and we'll copy and paste it so that, because you know, who's going to remember all this, right? I mean, unless you're taking notes. So if you put links on there, it will be really handy so people know where to go. And I just want to point out, again, focusing on Jasper here, how many years have you been in business now? 3 years. So the success in this room is amazing. Some of us are newbies and we feel like, you know, we're faking it till we make it. But to have contracts with Domino's and these contractors without even really trying, like you didn't know what you were doing, right? Yeah, right? I mean, that is huge. So if you don't know everyone in this room, I encourage you to get to know everybody because it's amazing. So part of what Flip didn't announce too is that today is the first official day that we have moved from being a garage into being in a space. So the Self-Defense Academy, like we already feel super successful, but we haven't even really started. Like today's the first day that our youth program is going. So 2.5 years has been our adult program that Flip's run all on his own. So now he has to deal with me and we get to do this together. So yeah, and now Coral's going to talk a little bit about the transitions that we'll have over the next couple of weeks, really. So I'll move it to her.
Oh, good. It's Tyre. Hi, everybody. Does anyone know what's happening mid-March with our group? What is it? Triple G? We are moving, yes. So one of the things we do with 1 Million Cups is we are, you know, we get sponsors to volunteer and give us space to meet, to come together every week. And we usually do about a year. So we've been with Judy. She's been awesome. She's been hosting us for a year. We've been coming in here, and we love Judy. And we're not leaving Judy because we're going to be sparring downstairs like every day. But starting March 15th, so March 15th will be the first day, we will not meet here as 1 Million Cups. We will be meeting at Exponential Impact. I'm the program manager there. And if you don't know about Exponential Impact, our mission is to develop the best entrepreneurs humanly possible. We have a couple different programs. We have our accelerator for the tech industry. And we also have our Survive and Thrive, which focuses more on community impact for small business owners. So that's a little bit of Exponential Impact, but being an entrepreneur support community, we are excited to host 1 million cups for the next 12 months or so. So we will have this coming out in emails, which, did everyone get that this week, by the way? Yes. Did it? Yeah. No? It's like half and half now. It is, but you know what? It's starting. I got so excited to get an email, and I guess I get excited about all emails for some weird reason, but it finally went through. So we will announce it. We will also put it on Facebook, but we're going to let you know every week so that on March 15th, no one shows up here, because no one will be here. Well, Judy will probably be here. Maybe, unless she wants to come join us. But we are located at 3650 North Nevada. We're in between like Fillmore and Garden of the Gods. We share a huge building with the UCCS Cybersecurity Program, the National Cybersecurity Center, and Space ISAC, and then Exponential Impact. So I'll try to put all this, in the email, but when you turn from Nevada into our main parking lot, we're the furthest southeast door. Right? So sometimes, I don't know why, GPS wants to take you through Cascade, the back way, and then you try to go through the back door. There is no back door, I promise. But we'll probably put a 1 million cups outside until everyone kind of gets familiar with the location and where to enter, and then we'll help guide you once you get there. But there's a huge parking lot if you've ever come to a pitch night. Yes, ma'am. Is Exponential Impact a nonprofit? We are a nonprofit, yes. Yep, and we'll still have coffee. Our coffee sponsor is going to come up with us, and really hoping this guy, Kevin, over here, comes with us. So I don't know. Do you have any other questions about this transition, or pretty straightforward?
I'm curious, since you're at the mic, what are the exponential impact programs that would be relevant to us right now?
Okay, so we have two programs. I manage both of them. We have our Accelerator and we have our Survive and Thrive program. So Survive and Thrive, we try to provide funding in the form of grants or small business loans to local small business owners. And we really want to, our goal with that program is to reach the people that are maybe left behind by traditional loan routes or avenues. So we're working on getting a revolving loan set up. It's not ready to launch yet, but once it does, then we'll offer that. And then with that, we also do programming for the business owners who receive that loan. So in a nutshell, that's Survive and Thrive. And our Accelerator program is an incubator for seed, start, scale, mostly all in the high-tech or tech startup. We also have some ag tech or agricultural technology, kind of like Barn Owl with drone and agriculture, app development, artificial intelligence, VR, I'm trying to think, B2B, SaaS, or SaaS. I think that's fun. So if you have a business like that in a startup, we put you through a 12-week program. We do our pitch nights, our demo days. We have you meet angel investors, all that kind of fun stuff that goes with a startup. Is that a good sort of summary? Yes, ma'am. So through Exponential Impact, yes, we receive a lot of grant funding. So our loan program is all provided through us via grants, and we're able to provide those loans at a very low interest, no collateral rate, right? So any money that we receive back from our loans goes back into the pot to be redistributed to other organizations. That's why it's a revolving loan fund. So we don't actually take a profit, but our initial pot is grant funded. So we have some ARPA dollars, we have some OEDIT dollars, and things there. Now, our Accelerator program has a small fee associated with it, but all of that mostly just goes right back into programming again. So, but with 1 million cups coming there is no, as you see, fee involved with that. We're just opening our space for you all, and then someone pays for coffee, someone makes the coffee, and that's kind of how we can keep this thing running. Good? Yeah? Okay. Fun.
Awesome. Thank you, Coral. All right, and now for closing remarks, we'll bring up Judy Paring. She's the host of The Next Us, and she usually has some beautiful words. And I'll let those beautiful words be the ending. So just reminder, etiquette for the space, clean up after ourselves, put a chair or two away, but take it, Judy.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here, obviously, to support the entrepreneurs. That's what we're here for. Gio put me on the spot a little bit, so let me tell you guys on Friday, first Friday. Every month we have a different theme, so from 5 to 7 p.m. we are family friendly. So if you don't have kids, tour the local art of all the galleries. They're open from 5 to 7. If you do have kids, come on over, family friendly from 5 to 7. 7 to 9, we send the kids downstairs. We act like we don't have kids. And then after 9 p.m., all bets are off. So if you're PG-13, leave at 9. But it's first Friday. We run the gamut. It's going to be this month's theme is Chinese New Year. So we're celebrating the year of the water rabbit, peace, longevity, prosperity. We'll be doing Chinese lanterns, origami, food, music, bring your own drinks. We have healthy food and healthy juices that we'll be providing. So first Friday, there you go, Gio. Thanks for putting me on the spot for that one. We'd love to see you guys. And so now just really quickly, I found this, so let's see what it says. Every experience, each interaction, it presents us with a new opportunity to learn. As we exchange our expression with a different individual, standing from their own perspective, to lend insight into the awesome patterns of existence. And sometimes we find familiarity, something we feel as if we might already understand, even though we couldn't possibly. And yet, when we connect, there's a thread of our lives, our mental, physical, spiritual self that already vibes. And I revel in that doorway that leads into a new realm of understanding and opens our mind and sharpens our eyes. And I want to see you. I seek to listen to your truth. And I hope to absorb the most that I can as it makes sense, even if that interaction was just a glance. I want to dance in the glimpse of the next level me as I'm shaped by all that I encounter and how chance entangles itself into our paths as we grow through the seasons. We combine our thoughts, we refine our words, we delve into our feelings. And maybe we better hone our decision-making skills as best we know. And with every turn, what I know becomes more rhythmic and less specific. And I can tell you that I know when the leaves fall and it gets cold, that my mind starts to reflect. And I get sentimental. And as I climb through the vines, I transform as my heroes become more vast. And the weirder I fight to defy preconceived notions, to show the world that we can embrace our genealogy. I come from the mountains. We bring all of our memories with us and we define our person outside of the boxes, permeate beyond the confines of labels, and we identify as the new you with every line. And I celebrate each of our unique existence and all the strings that bring us together here now. So thank you guys. Welcome to the Nexus.